Good morning, Kevin Dodson coming to you here from Carolina Firearms Training and Gun Sales Incorporated. I'm also known as KDOD357 on my YouTube channel. Today is Thursday, May the 11th, 2017. I'm going to be talking about segment 11 in the series on concealed carry. Out of your red book, that's going to be on page 22 in your red book under number 6, obtaining the concealed carry permit. Now I'm not going to go over all this because it's about 3 or 4 pages, because the majority of that stuff on those pages are disqualifiers that would keep someone from getting a concealed carry permit, okay? So first of all, you have to be a United States citizen or a permanent resident to get the concealed carry permit. You have to be mentally and physically capable of handling a firearm safely, of course. An example for that would be, I've had students to come to my classes that actually had magazines. Some of you call them the clips, they're actually called magazines. The magazines with the ammunition loaded backwards. You know, I did a video on that about a week ago showing you that it is very possible to load magazines backwards if you're not paying attention. You know, you can't load them as fast, but you can almost load them nearly as fast, okay? So it can happen. It's embarrassing for the student when it happens, once they find out what the problem is, you know, why they can't get their gun going, but it does happen. So you have to make sure that the individual is mentally and physically safely capable of handling that firearm. A couple other things, that is that, of course, that you complete the North Carolina Concealed Carry course, and that you've completed it with an approved instructor by North Carolina Training and Standards. You know, there's 3 ways. Some of you thought about teaching this class. There's 3 ways that you could become a firearms instructor. One, of course, myself as a full-time police officer. I'm a police firearms instructor. You can also be a firearms instructor if you're associated with Private Protective Services in North Carolina. And also, like my wife, if you are an NRA pistol instructor, you can go on to get the certification to teach concealed carry as well. Because sometimes I have folks to ask me that. Now, you're going to get a certificate at the end of the day that says that you have satisfactorily passed this class. And then what you do is you take the certificate to the sheriff's office in the county that you live in. Not in the county that you took the class, but the county that you reside in. That's where you take the certificate to, and you apply. Most times you can apply for this stuff online as well these days. Most sheriff's offices, if you're not very computer savvy, you can still go by the sheriff's office and get a hard copy of the application. Most folks just go online, and it's a fillable form, and just fill it out, print it out. And there's 2 pages that have to be notarized. You'll notarize those pages, and of course do that in front of a notary. You'll sign that in front of a notary. Just a couple of little things here. See, here we go. There's lots of, there's 2 full pages of disqualifiers. In other words, crimes that if you've been convicted, and most of them have been if you've been convicted within the past 3 years. Like for a simple assault, they changed this about a year ago. For a simple assault, used to, if you were convicted of assault 30 years ago, it could keep you from getting a concealed carry permit. Well, that is no longer true. If it's a simple assault, it's outside of those 3 years, you would still be eligible for concealed carry. So they changed a lot of that. In other words, not holding things against people that they did 20 or 30 years ago. Not all people, but most people, including myself, are not the same people that we used to be when we were, you know, late teenagers, early 20s, 30s, and what have you. So lots of things that would disqualify you. Another thing that would disqualify you would be if you have a DWI, driving while impaired conviction, within the preceding 3 years of applying for concealed carry. That's going to knock you out, so you're going to have to wait sure those 3 years go by before you can apply for concealed carry. Domestic violence issues. If you are under a domestic violence or a 50B order, and if you don't know what I'm talking about there, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you've ever had a 50B served on you, it's a protective order for you not to go around your victim. And those usually last for a year, and they're also renewable for another year if the need arises there, to where the victim still feels like their life perhaps is still in imminent danger, or bodily harm, or even death. And by the way, just so you'll know, if you know anyone that is the victim of domestic violence, you know, the sheriff in your county has the power to issue them an emergency concealed carry permit. Okay, that's temporary. Your regular concealed carry permit's good for 5 years, and I'm sure your sheriff's going to tell you to get enrolled in a concealed carry course somewhere, because they're not going to want to keep renewing it on an emergency basis. They want you to get a permanent concealed carry permit. So these are basically just some requirements, and then of course the disqualifiers that would keep one from getting it. You've got to bring proof of citizenship or proof of residency to the sheriff's office, okay? But it's really straightforward and simple. If you have any questions, of course, one of my students, or even if you're not one of my students, you can call me at our store at area code 919-708-5475. You can email me at kevin@carolinafirearmstraining.com. So also be sure to come by and visit us at our store. We're located in Sanford at 1606 Westover Drive, Sanford, NC 27330, and our website address is carolinafirearmstraining.com. I'll leave you with concealed carry. We've got a concealed carry class this Saturday, May 13th. Class fee's just $49. You can register on our website at carolinafirearmstraining.com. We've also got another concealed carry class coming up May the 27th, which is on Saturday, and I've got 2 AR-15 classes coming up in June the 9th and June the 19th. Those are on Monday. That class fee is $125. If you bought an AR-15 recently and you want to become proficient with that firearm, sign up for the class. It's a fun class. It's a blast. You'll have a good time, not to mention you'll learn a lot. So until I see you next time for segment 12, be safe out there, guys. We got an open store.